Yo, yo, yo. It's Thursday. We're here. What's up?
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Is there certain people you shouldn't call bro? Like this
Mm,
this was brought to my attention the other day. We were eating dinner with some friends of ours, and she's a psychiatrist.
right.
And she's like, one of my patients said bro, called me bro. And I was like, Okay. And then I
Professional
caught
setting?
well, then
Probably.
I caught myself like when I was saying bye to my doctor, I was like, take it easy, bro.
Yeah.
You know? And I think I subconsciously did it just because she said something, but I was like, is there like a time and a place where bro just isn't the right word? I mean,
Yeah. Well, especially he probably spent 12 years in school to get to be called doctor. And you're like, bruh.
yeah, but still, I mean, I feel like it's almost like a form of endearment at this point, depending on how
Yeah.
you say it. If you're like, bro, no, that's not, but bro, I don't know,
Where's bruh land?
bruh.
Yeah.
That lands in the illiterate category. Like you can't even like you're so lazy you can't even finish it.
No,
Like
that's the Hawaiian style, man.
bruh,
Yeah. Bruh.
bruh. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's something to consider. I have yet to find it, but I know there's probably a place. Just like I know what's up and high five.
I think high fives are out. Let's
I
think of
think I think it's just bump it.
yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
little kids, high five all day long. Like
Right.
little kids, you got to high five. Like they love that shit. Yo, good job, give it to me. But now it's this. Everyone's got to do this. Like I went to watch the girls bowl one night when you were gone. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, you don't have a show? You should come watch us bowl. And I was like, yeah, let's do that. And it was like every time somebody threw a ball, they were coming back to the table, and everyone's
Yeah.
fist bumping, and I'm like, it's way too much activity. I can't pay attention for this. Like, can you count me out of this nonsense?
Which leads me to like when people are congratulating people on very small things, like insignificant things.
Oh, you're amazing.
Chris, you killed it, and like just like he wrote a paper or
Or
wrote
he
a
wiped his butt, blew his nose.
well,
Yeah,
whatever it is.
yeah. Well, I mean, like I get like the 4-year-old that we take care of.
Yeah,
You know,
kids are different. I'm talking about
you know,
adult on adult crime.
yeah. But I mean, I feel that there's a point where you got to kind of dial it back
Yeah,
because that's what got us to the point where everyone that plays sports gets a trophy, right?
exactly. Yeah.
Which really, unless you're no, like Haley has none of those trophies. Like she put them all in a box.
Hmm.
They're in the attic. She's like, I don't want that stuff. I don't want participation awards. I was like, oh, okay. She's like, I get awards for shit I do. I accomplish something. Like, when she does her Run Disney stuff, like when she did the Dopey Challenge, which
Yeah.
is like, I don't know, 100 miles. It's not, but it's like 68 or I don't know. It's an obscene amount of mileage in one weekend. That was a big moment for her. And she's like, that's, uh, that's insanity. It's funny too, because we filmed her whole thought process behind it. We've never published it. I should probably do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get on it, Haley. I know
Yeah.
you're balling right now, but if you see this later,
Yeah, she won't. I have it on my phone. I think she's gonna blame it on me. So
right?
participation trophies do suck.
Yeah.
It was funny too because like when we made all the Master Tech Expo trophies. So like we made the build off. What's up, Fro? He
Bro.
just texted me too, so that was very weird. Um, we made all the winners trophies. So we made the 3 winners trophies for the actual build off, and then we made the one for the Clean Wire Challenge. And he was like, I need all these. I said, no. We don't do participation trophies. We do, you won, you get the trophy.
Right.
That's it. And he's like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, man, we're all type A personality. We don't care about second place. If no one's displaying a second place trophy, you
No.
know,
No.
it's the first place trophies.
Yeah, that's what you either win or you lose. They really. What's crazy is Haley's probably like 3 or 4 years older than Bailey, maybe.
Hmm. Yeah.
But we really didn't have participation trophies around here that I can think of. It's. I never thought back on it, but yeah,
She would get him and she'd just be like,
yeah,
whatever. Because that was just what the soccer club that we belonged to did.
right,
Was that every 3 months you got a new little trophy or some shit
true.
like that. No, I mean a lot of the kids loved it. Don't get me wrong. I was like,
Oh yeah,
you're happy for them. They're 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, and it's like, look what you did, and it's like, oh, this is so cool. And then she was like, okay, and then it was like for her the award was the shirt.
Yeah.
She's like, she's a shirt person. So it was like the trophies didn't mean shit. She just wanted the next shirt.
Yeah.
It was
Same
like, oh,
with
okay.
the trophy. The shirt was the thing. The round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is funny because like she's got this one shirt that she got in grade school, like 4th or 5th grade. And like when they gave them the shirts, they were all like adult mediums or some shit like
Yeah.
that. So like no one could wear them. She still wears it. I was folding the clothes the other day and I was like, holy crap, we still have this?
Funny. Yeah.
Like I think she only like sleeps in it or something, but it's like, oh yeah.
That's hilarious.
Oh, dude. And that's the funny thing. Like she doesn't want knickknacks or anything like that when we go on vacation. She wants shirts. Like we have to find the right shirt,
I'm down with that. A shirt you'll have for a while, unless it's of poor quality.
Yeah, I mean, then she just won't wear it. She'll keep it in her closet until she cycles through them.
Right.
At some point, she's telling me she wants to make like comforters and shit out of them. So
That's what Bailey did with all her volleyball T-shirts.
yeah.
Cassie made her a comforter, and when they were laying out, I was like, "That's not the dimensions of a comforter." They're like, "No, this is how we want it," and then they get it, and it's a square.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "That's not like comforters are more narrow and longer." So
You don't argue with it, man.
Yeah, I know.
You just let it go. All right, so what is he saying? Here's a question for you guys. I have a quad box that has a 1 ohm on the left terminal cup and 2 ohm on the right terminal cup. Please help. I would start pulling those woofers out and measure woofers individually. It sounds like you got a bad coil somewhere.
Yeah. Is this what he's reading, or I haven't messed with the quad box, so is it?
No, I mean that's what he's. I'm guessing he took an ohm load to it because the stickers wouldn't say that. I'm assuming you're using a voltmeter of some kind, but I would definitely pull the woofers out of the box and find out which one is weird, because there's definitely one in there that's weird.
Yeah.
So
something's going on, bro.
All right. So, anyways, that was the off-topic topic for the beginning of the show. Let's talk car stereo.
Yeah, man. What are the most important things to know in car audio? I wanted a very narrow topic, just keep it as let me see. We had a comment here. Need to pop up. Very, very narrow topic. Very specific.
Yeah. Well, it's got to be, because if you get us too wide, we go all over the road.
Yeah. I have a start. So listen, here was my plan. I was like, I got busy at work today. I was gonna at lunch and everything just start adding to this list. Well, I got 3 things, but we can start with those and
start with those.
Pop up.
So
the first one is, and this can go both ways. It's good to know in cardio, and it's also bad to know, as we discussed earlier, clipping and distortion. Good in the sense that you don't want to clip all your equipment, obviously, because you're going to cause damage. Secondarily, it depends on how long you clip and how hard you clip it. You could damage something. Secondarily, you don't want to take your mid-range up to clipping with your SMD DD1 or your tweeter amp up to clipping, as we've discussed many times. So it's like a double-edged sword.
So this kind of reminds me of a Clint Eastwood statement. A man's got to know a man's limitations.
Right.
Okay. So when we design a system, we always play two genres of music at the end. We'll play something that's new, lively, and excitable. We'll play something that's old and the opposite of that. And depending on the age of the person, that's important, because if you're somebody my age or older and you're listening to 70s and 80s rock music, it's not that great, and it needs more room, so to speak. I need to be able to crack them gains, as they say, a little bit higher.
Right.
So maybe take it up to 10 dBs of overlap or something like that, which is basically 10 dB over clip. And the explanation that I always give to people is like, because I'm working the volume, has this, and I'll say, you see how I'm using this volume, right? And they're like, yeah. I say, I'm doing that for a reason, because I'm giving you a demonstration of how loud this can be, but with different types of music. So we're not staying on one aspect. We're not just like, so to your point, understanding the limitations of your system are those things. Like you have to know when to turn it down. And as we all have that have done some form of distortion, you have to know the difference between clipping and not clipping can be 1 or 2 on the volume knob, right?
Easy.
So yeah, and it's like what I always tell people is like, look, if you're playing this loud and you just 2 clicks, man, it will sound the exact same.
Right.
Like it is no louder, but it's not gonna blow the speakers.
Right. And if
You
you've
know?
ever had it on a meter, like a subwoofer, often when you're in hard clipping, you're going to be less loud. You're going to be like
Yeah,
2 or
because
3
the
dB
amp is just going, ugh.
Yeah, because it's like, I'm done. I gave you what I can
Yeah.
give you. You went past that. Now we're throttling it back a little bit.
So we had something that had a similar problem today, or it started Saturday with this customer that got sent to us from a manufacturer that was like, just go see these guys for fuck's sake, you know. Whoever you're dealing with is a moron. So just go see these guys and they'll fix your problems, you know. And he's very skeptical at this point, like most people are that have 911s, because they're just like, you know, they've paid a bunch of money. The idiots have already looked at their car, like that's a mean way to say it, but the people have already looked at their car, you know, 3 or 4 times, and they've been in there and they've charged them more money. They basically fucked them.
Yeah.
And so now they're you know, once bitten, twice shy. It's so, you know, you get your it's like you're coming into my world now. And I don't want you there. You know, your poor life choices are starting are your Venn diagram of poor life choices have just encompassed me, and I don't want to be there. Like I, I don't care, but I have to because of the fact that it's car audio and I care about car audio and I don't want anyone to have a bad experience in car audio, because if they do, there goes my job. So, you know, you go out there and you look at what it is, and within 2 seconds you go, oh shit, like these guys are dumb as fuck. Like this was an Amp Pro car
Yeah.
and they didn't put an Amp Pro in. And they tapped into speakers that shouldn't be tapped into. And yeah, all the fucking problems are right there. I'm like, dude, this is a simple fix. You need this. You need this $350 box. Oh man, more money. I'm like, no, it's not more money. It's the right money that you should have spent in the first place. But these guys weren't smart enough to sell it to you. They thought they could just throw some shit in there, turn on some Acubase, and everything would be fucking Jim Dandy. And
Right.
it's like, that's not how it works. It's
Yeah.
not how it works. It's great if there's no option. Well, then this is as good as it's gonna get. But when there is an option, and if they're too dumb to look for the option, then it's like, so I was like, listen, like they installed it wrong. Is an F-150, go figure. You know, grounded it right to the aluminum, like fucking didn't even go, dude. It's like there's a factory ground point right there, like right there.
Yeah.
That if you're that fucking lazy, just screw it into that. No, they self tapped it right. And they did the two self tapping option. You know, I was like, yeah, oh god.
I would say they didn't go God level with self tapping all the way around.
No, they didn't do an Earl. But you know, you're just like, come on, guys, like, what made you think this was gonna work? I mean, like copper to aluminum with a steel screw. Great, that's perfect. Yeah, way to go, way to go. So, anyways, we get the car. So he's like, I was like, listen, you can do this yourself. It's literally just plug it in, run some wires, you're all set. And he's like, I don't know. And I was like, so, anyways, he comes back today and he's like, I just need you guys to fix everything. And I was like, all right, well, you know, because we had to tear it all out,
Right.
just start from scratch. I mean, Fernando is probably going to post a picture of before and after on it, because it was just
That bad.
it was pitiful, man. You're just looking at it like, and he's like, well, what? All right, so what am I paying for? I'm like, you're paying for us to put it back to factory first, because we have to remove everything that they did, and we have to fix everything that they fucked up, solder it all back together, and then once it's all back to factory, we're going to take it all back out and put it in the right way. You know, we're going to make an amp rack. We're going to do all this pretty wiring stuff. We're going to power and ground. We're going to make a fuse holder. Like, I couldn't even get the fuse holder out of the car.
Damn.
Okay, because it was a kicker fuse holder that they didn't mount to anything, which is scary as shit, because that's one of those clip-on ones.
Right. Yeah.
And it had fallen between the battery and is a diesel. And so like the big air intake. And I was like, it wouldn't come out at all. And I was like, oh, that's safe.
Jeez.
That's so safe. You guys are great, you know. And the grommet, they just pulled the grommet out and ran the wire through. So you got $100,000 truck that water's going to get in.
Nice.
Yeah, it's so good. So anyways, long story short, we get it all in there. It's playing. He's so happy. He's got some inexpensive subwoofers that he paid $80 for that you may have behind your right shoulder there.
I probably do.
Yeah, them.
Yeah.
Anyways, those last, now that we've got it working and sounding the way it's supposed to, those lasted all of about 10 minutes. Like,
Oh, yeah.
they launched with, he calls me back and goes, dude, it's doing the same thing again. It's that bass. I go, it's not bass roll off. It's physically impossible. It is not bass roll off. There's something else going on. Bring it back right now.
Yeah.
He's like, okay. He brought it back. I got it in amps on. I'm like, I reached underneath the box. And I went, I said, you blew both the subs. He goes, what? I go, yeah. Remember we were talking about how you bought two $80 subs because your buddy was like, these are cool? He goes, maybe I should have kept the 600-watt amp. I go, yeah.
Oh, do you have a bigger amp?
Yeah, he switched out. He had an audio control, so he switched out the 600, the Marine 600 for the 800.
Yeah.
Which, now you got 950 watts going to these two little MVX $80 subwoofers, which are good subwoofers, but not in the world of
like
handling
250 watts or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So he launched the fuck out of those things. So,
Full
but there again, he was one of those guys. He just didn't know. I'm modest when I'm just. Yeah, exactly. But he didn't get it. He was like, I'm like, dude, dial it down.
Yeah.
You got to know when these things don't work. But he's just been so freaked out. He's shell shocked at this point. I was like, all right, just relax. It'll be okay. Now you're one with your system. Yeah. So it's an important thing. I think I always look at it. So I don't know why we've always used the analogy you're building a race car.
Yeah.
Because I think like race cars break all the time, I guess. Like you're always fixing your race car, but nobody really wants to do that, right? So we just say, hey, you just built this high-end race car. You have to treat it with respect, right? You don't just grab a Ferrari. I mean, you might, I would, and just like fucking dump the transmission because you're an asshole, and you got 10 grand now or 100 or whatever the hell it is to buy a new transmission. Because you're an idiot and you'll see your car in 6 months.
Yeah.
And the thing that always irritates me, like when people break stuff, is like, dude, I spent money on this. You spent money on your underwear when you got hit by a bus and you shit your pants. I mean,
yeah.
And
like that's all problem. Forget about those. That was yesterday's problem.
Yeah.
That you created. And so hey.
Yeah. But no, definitely. It's important in the sense that you have to understand what it is doing, why it is there, and why you need to pay attention to it.
Yeah,
for sure, definitely.
Well, I have a personal example.
Yeah.
A family member that I put a install in his ride, and I installed it in a way that you would have to a little bit of bass boost, the gain, where you could take it into clipping if you want.
Right.
With the understand that he was probably gonna have a little restraint on it. Well, like, listen, full bass head, so he's blown like 3 subs, I think, maybe more. So he was asking, you got anything? And I was like, for what you want, no, not right now. That I'm testing, but so he comes back, well, should I get this? And I said, well, I would get this one, but before you put it in, bring it back by. We'll dial this down so it doesn't happen again. Because every bass head, man. I mean, when you're trying to jam, it's like, well, hey, let's go.
Trust me, man. There's been plenty of times where we've gone from 1 ohm to 2 ohm. Yeah.
Sometimes
like we're gonna take this. Can you make it so I can't break it anymore? Let me see your fingers.
Just put a screw where the volume only goes,
Yeah, no, just break your fingers. Just break your fingers so you can't get them to touch anything.
Yeah.
Ferrari transfers, probably 50 grand. But I mean, hey, if you're making millions of dollars, what's 50 grand?
Yeah,
drop in the bucket.
You ever paid insurance on a Ferrari?
Yeah, no.
But then my second one that goes kind of with this is knowing what a gain does on different amps, because there is a situation where the gain knob is kind of a volume knob in one particular style of amps. The ones without preamps, the Brazilian, tear amps, I think Sound Digital makes a few of them that don't have preamps. So there's a few of them that don't have preamps, and they're literally a volume knob.
They
But
are
a dangerous
volume.
one because they can only take 2 volts in typically.
Yeah, if you see something that's got a max power rating at 12.6 volts, I
Yeah.
can tell you right now, that's not a game knob. That's a volume knob. That's an over clipped. You're gonna clip the, even if it's got a clip light on it, it's like that light should never come on.
Yeah. You can't see it
Ever.
from the front anyways. It's in the
You know, I will say this: if you never want to clip the input on an amplifier, you know what you do? You put a Dayton DSP in front of it because those things only put out 2.5 volts. You're safe all day.
Yeah.
Hey, there's one use for that piece of shit.
There you go.
Running a Brazilian amplifier.
I think when I played with mine, I had the Kenwood, which puts out, about 4.5 volts.
Yeah.
At full volume. And then I go back and read at the thing, which I believe Dayton says it's 4 volts, but it is not 4 volts. It's like
Not on its best day.
like 2.5 volts at max volume.
No, and it doesn't like any more than 2 volts coming into it either. So
yeah,
like we ran the GS9 into it, and you want to kill a GS9, run it into one of those, and yeah, that's a shit sandwich right there. We're like, what the hell is going on? We immediately grabbed the tools and we started looking. We're going, oh, okay, yeah. Where's that? This needs to go into the dumpster, like right now. Like it's so bad. Like, and there again, okay. So
you've done a $1,500 head unit with literally 10% the cost.
Hey man, that's what's in the lab. What's in the lab, a $20 pair of boots with a $50 shine, whatever it takes, man.
Exactly.
Hey, why not, right? I mean, it's what's there. Hey, what I was gonna say is that, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're not the only ones that are really sensitive to input. I mean, but all the PDX line of Alpine amplifiers, the V9 that was like our favorite 5-channel for like the longest time, will go down as probably one of the best 5-channel amplifiers ever made. And it had the most tricky input ever on it. Like it would not take, it was like, I will take 5 volts, but only if it's 4.8 volts. So like, if you hook it up to a Kenwood and you turn that Kenwood all the way up and you've cracked the gain at all, that ain't shutting down. It's going.
Done. Yeah.
And then you just go turn the gain back down to 0, and it's like, thank you, I'm good. And it play all day. It was like, dude, are you serious? Man. Yes, dude, 4-volt input? No, it's cool. It do its thing. But 5? No.
Side jagging off that, since you mentioned Alpine, the new 8-channel DSP Alpine amp.
Yeah.
Have you used it yet?
I've been there to see it, and I've heard all about it. Optimate is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Alpine just did its or is doing now its world tour, so to speak, and taking it all over the place. It was here 2 Thursdays ago is when they did the training, but we were doing our show. So I was like, I got shit to do. I understand the concept. They're really excited about it. They have a couple more products coming out in that product line that you're going to see in the next 2 months. That will be kind of neat.
Chris has opinions.
I wouldn't say it's garbo, but it's definitely. So the biggest problem with it is it's Alpine, and what that means is that not that Alpine is bad. It's made to be paired up with a radio. So there's nothing that it does in the beginnings. There's no de-equalization. So there's no pre-processing that can be done. And in a modern car, that means you're putting a key lock or an amp pro in front of it. Okay. And how they asked me to come in and sit in the first class that they taught. And they're like, could you come sit in the class and just listen and see what we say and see where we might need to not talk about things or talk about things. And I was like, sure. I'll try to stay awake. So Haley and I went in the class because it was in Orlando, and sat there and listened to it. And I started listening to the questions because I knew where he immediately fucked up, and it was like, it was one of those things where you just sit there and as an instructor, you just go, you try to foresee these problems, but you also have to understand what they're, what room you're in, read the room. And they totally didn't read the room. So I was like, oh yeah, that's, yeah, oh, it's totally meh, because anything auto is meh, Chris. I mean, you know that. I mean, it's just, listen, the first time we did the kicker key, it was like, holy shit, this is fucking awesome. And then everyone has not been able to live up to that.
Yeah.
Nobody. The only thing that has come close, and probably actually it's better, is the Moscone, the Barney.
Oh yeah.
The Barney, just what that thing can do is fucking insane. But that's 5 years of research and development to get to this point. So, I mean, for the money, the kicker key kicks ass. It's almost like I wish they would do more with it. I want that technology. See, that's what takes kicker outside of Alpine, is that kicker has the ability to fix the front end and fix the back end automatically. They just need to put it in one box,
and then add some way to control it for us.
Also. Yeah, but no, we don't. Very minimal control would be fine. Like if you okay, I look at it like this: if they were able to take a box and do what the key lock does for, let's say, 4 to 6 channels,
right,
and then a DSP in it that does what, like an 8-channel DSP for like the key, the 200.4. The only thing that you would need on that is a small global, like 12-band EQ, like a radio EQ. Nothing fancy, just something so you can go in there and make it a little sizzly more, and maybe pull down some mid-range, and then add a little bass boost, because that's all anyone ever wants to do, right?
Yeah.
But we don't need to open the world to do that. A nice little Bluetooth app on the phone with maybe some presets, Steve, Joe, Ernie, Aaron. Just call them what they are. Lori. I'm gonna play Lori today, which would be really cool.
Yeah.
Well, Super Steve.
Like the only thing that I don't like about the tune on the key is I think it's a little bass heavy, and then it's a little light on the treble for me.
Well, it is. Oh no, 100%. We always tune it at -2 on the treble.
Yeah.
We always tune it at -2, and we add it. It's always a little driver bias on the time now on the second version of it. The 800, the 180.4 didn't have that problem. 180.4, in my opinion, had a better tune. They went in the 200.4 and changed some things because they thought it was a little too excitable. And so we need to, and so to fix that, we go in and we move it over the driver 1 or passenger 1, -2 on the tweeter, and then we put them back to 0 when we're done. So everything is hunky-dory.
Yeah, that's the hack, the key hack.
Which you can easily just do after the fact, but
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you're on a factory system, you usually have bass, treble, mid-range, and it would be nice to have the EQ like in that situation, in that specific situation.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I can go in there and do a little bit.
I think for kicker, presets would be better.
Yeah.
Just because knowing the market for the key,
right?
Presets would be cool. Because they don't like to do any, like their bass boost is 6 dB.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, wait, what? Because I'm over there and I'm like turning up and down the 500.1, and I'm like, this ain't doing shit. And I call up Joe and I said, what? He goes, dude, it's 6 dB. And I go, why would it be 6 dB? Why do you need more than that? Because
I got used to that punch bass.
I need 12 dB at 45 hertz, bitch. Knock me into tomorrow.
Exactly.
Like,
it's absurd. That amp is a really good value for that amp than most people, I think, realize.
Well, I think what makes 6 dB make sense for that amplifier, in all fairness, is that it has a key lock built into it. So for the frequency range that it's capable of adjusting, it's capable of adjusting plus or minus 12 dB, of boost. So that's a 24 dB swing that it can bring down or add up. Now, which is great. But if you're already boosting the low frequencies to begin with, and some of those you're bringing up 12 dB,
Yeah.
Adding another 6 dB on top of it is probably not the best move, so it's like they're like, come on, let's be realistic. But one of the things I always say, like in those cars that have the high pass filter in it, which we always talk about, like the Honda Accord, which there's more and more cars like that now. It's a 500 watt amp, and everyone, oh, it's not enough. It's like, believe it or not, it's probably that amp fixing your signal is guaranteed going to put out more power than the 1,000 watt amp you put in there, because of that crossover in there is just pulling away all that. So you're having to overdrive the shit out of that 1,000 watt amplifier to bring up that sound, that 12, 18, 24 dB of missing bass. So half of the sound you're producing out of that amplifier, you're not even hearing, because it's just trying to get it up to the audible range.
Right.
And then it makes sound. So, it's putting out all its power, but you're just not getting it because it's trying to overcome the fact that, it's got a 24 dB slope at 80 hertz and it's just going,
straight off
like,
the cliff. Straight off.
And then everyone in the room goes, what? What is he talking about? What do you mean? What? It's just put an epicenter on it.
Yeah. There you go. Because you have explained how the epicenters work.
It was funny too, because I was talking to Jeff this week, and he goes, dude, you're not gonna believe what he had to teach some guys at work, and he goes, you want to know what they asked me to explain to him? I go, what? He goes, the difference between Acubase and epicenter. I go, seriously? He goes, yeah. I said, well, they're gonna watch my video. He goes, actually, it's in my PowerPoint.
There you go. I mean,
we're all gonna watch that.
Actual, like a short video on it too. It was like to the point about this and this only, and it was like 6 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, we've done tons of them.
Yeah.
But it's like Fernando keeps going, all right, they keep asking these questions, so
yeah,
let's just make another video on it, because they're,
it's always good to update them anyways, because you might
for sure,
like 3 or 4 years ago, and it's like maybe you have new information or a new way to say it.
I mean, exactly, like the video we just did yesterday on the difference between active and passive. We just took it from a different approach. We kind of, because now you have the internet that's all up in it. Oh, dude, if you're not doing active, you suck, bro. And it's like, yeah, go tell that to the Focal Grand Utopias that cost $1 million.
Yeah,
that aren't active. They're fucking passive, bro. I mean, there is some adjustment on the passive EQ. Yeah,
it all goes back to that.
Yeah, fucking set of $25,000 Dyne audio speakers that have a passive EQ in there. Oh, bro, tell me how bad it is.
But that being said, let me formally put my request in for a 6-channel kicker key, 100 watts by 6. So all except 75.
How about a 4-channel?
Yeah, okay, but I'm putting in a request for me. I don't care about everybody else.
Oh no, fuck that! I want a 9-channel. Fuck a 6-channel. Give me 9 channels.
You want the sub channel built in too, and you want to do your
No, I want a center channel speaker.
Oh man,
the sub. I want a center.
You're getting complicated now.
No, I'm not. Just give me 100 watts for the center. I don't give a shit.
That's a really good video.
Play it to a clip like burns out. Exactly. Just like the check engine light on your dash, just put a piece of tape over it so you don't have to see it.
Right. Dude, the next one that I got to, the last one that I have of my 3.
Yeah.
I was thinking something with this, but I can't remember what I was thinking. But I think it still holds true. Just math in general. It's very important to know in car audio.
Okay, well, hold on. It says that amp is available in China for the price point which kicker will pay. Those are fighting words. Let me tell you what, okay, as a personal friend of the head engineer at Kicker, I can tell you right now that they design and build, from scratch, everything that comes out of Kicker. Wherever it's manufactured is one thing, but I can tell you right now that every single product that rolls out of there, okay, that is an amplifier, is designed in-house, man, and they are working overtime. They have new products, I can't talk about them, but yeah, no, dude, I can tell you who built and designed the kicker key. It's built and designed by Fernando. He's been on the show before. He's a really cool dude. He's from Brazil. He taught himself how to do freaking DSP. He figured out, he cracked the code on how to do that shit.
Hey,
know?
he knew. He
I know, but you
he's like,
know,
"I'm fixing to wind him up right now."
those
So,
are some fighting words, man.
oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, I would say that's true among Rockford Fosgate. I don't know about JL.
Oh, they have engineers. Yeah,
I
they're all
assume that they're doing the exact same way.
well, I mean, they have 3 facilities that they design out of. Most
Okay.
people don't. They have Florida, Arizona, and Washington
Yeah.
State. So, and each one of them does something differently. For it's okay. I know. You were just winding me up. Oh, speaking of get wound up, so we are going to have Bart and Lori on the show on Monday. So
Okay.
for those kicker fans that want to tune in on Monday, we'll have Bart and Lori on. And for those of you that don't know Bart, he is one of the most talented builders I've ever seen, even though that's not his job. Like this guy is like the most amazing. And I don't mean car stereo fabricator. I mean, he builds all kinds of neat shit. Like he's built a life-size version of the Monsters Inc. people. He's built Manny from that stupid movie where the earth is melting, you know, where he's the giant elephant thing. Halloween is his thing. He's got a giant tarantula that sits up on his house. Plus, he builds models. Like he had, oh my god. Anyways, total nerd, but he's kind of the keeper of the secrets at kicker. So
Oh, they're
that's
gonna be on live?
they'll be on live Monday. So we'll
Oh,
have Lori and we'll have Bart.
that'd be a good one.
It's always fun to have him on.
Yeah.
Bart was the guy that was on. If you guys have been following us for a couple years, Bart was the guy that came on and taught when somebody gave us the Walmart. Oh, you guys are, and Bart was the one that was there and was like, "No, I'll take that." You know, it's like, "You go, Bart." You know, and he just let him have it. He was like, "Listen, here's the deal. Here's what we do for them," and he spelled it all out. And it was like, it was great, man. I was like, oh, "This is awesome."
Well, and I like that they point out, like, without Walmart, the Solo X doesn't exist,
Oh,
or
for sure.
the kicker key doesn't exist, and many
No.
other things. So,
And the thing like you got to remember with some of these manufacturers is that Garmin W7. That's cute. I like that. um uh you know, there again, like that contract isn't easy for them because the amount of money in inventory, like they have to stock 3 months of inventory in the warehouse that can't do any that it, and they're all just Walmart products.
and
Like,
they have a section. It's like the Walmart
yeah,
section. It's
yeah,
huge.
it's the Walmart Best Buy section that is just
Right.
it's a quarter of the warehouse in the back that is just floor to ceiling, and they're like, we can't touch any of that. It's like, are you serious? Like, no, that's the contract we signed with these guys. We have to stock 3 months. And during COVID, bro, that was brutal.
Dude, it was like it was looking empty in there. I actually went during COVID.
Yeah.
It was bare. Shelves were bare.
What are you doing Monday the 16th? I will be in Arizona. Well, actually, I'll be on a plane. Monday the 16th, I'll be on a plane flying back home, I think. Or partying. No, Monday the 16th will be partying, I think. I don't know. I think we're partying Monday the 16th. Yeah, because I think it's the final party thing that we're doing. But yeah, it's nuts. Yeah. So, but no, I won't be in town. Sorry. A Warhorse 1004. Yeah, that would be cool. I don't, it's funny because like we've all seen the Warhorse that's in the Bronco, right?
Right.
I don't know what the model number is on it.
It's like the 3500 or something like
I
that.
don't know. All I know is that it's pretty badass little amplifier.
Right.
There again, I know the guy that designed it. And it's because they've been working on that for years. Like literally, they've been working on that thing for years. And
Mhm.
when Kicker, like it's so funny to watch the transition of a product being built by them because they're just all so fucking picky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they'll buy an amplifier from somebody that let's say doesn't have a gain knob, and because that's who they're going after, and they'll buy that amplifier and they'll hook it up to their torture rack and they'll break it, like break it, and they'll like the nerds will pull it apart, they'll
Mhm.
fix it, they'll break it again, and then they'll keep redesigning the amplifier until they get it to the point where it won't break. And then they're like, okay, so now we have a solid amplifier that we can actually test. And this is what we had to do to it. So that's how they do their research is they will buy everyone in that genre, that they're going after, all their competitor stuff, and they will just hammer the fuck out of it, but just do their test. But like every one of their amplifiers has to pass before it comes out. And it's like
That's the graveyard. We never film because
Yeah. Oh, you can't film the graveyard.
you
Yeah.
can't film the graveyard, but because there's so many other products that they
Oh
just
yeah, yeah. The
pick a
graveyard, and
coffee
they just
company,
they
it's gonna
built.
shame another product. It's
Oh
like,
yeah. Oh no, no, no.
well, we
Steve would
will.
never do that. Steve,
Yeah,
Steve has no problem buying somebody else's stuff to torture test, but
right.
he'll never say anything bad about anything, which is fine. I like that. I wouldn't either. It's
Yeah,
like, hey, it's just
perfect.
what it is, you know. But it's always nice because you can go, all right, so what do you guys think about this? And you're like,
Right.
well, if you get that'll be the one that won't burn your car down. So that's probably a safe bet. And you're like, okay, okay. Note to self.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do have some pretty rigorous testing, but does Kicker have production DSP? So so technically yes, they do because the key are all DSPs, and they've had the Q class amplifiers that were
Mhm.
DSP amps long before like anyone was
They
doing
were
that.
too far ahead of the game at
They
that
were way
point.
too far ahead of their
Yeah.
game. And the problem that you run into that we've seen with a lot of these manufacturers is that they're too far ahead of their game for their own good. And then they are afraid to go back to it. So even if it's like becomes the standard, they're still like like Kenwood right now. Kenwood right now is afraid to make a DSP. And it's like, but come on, like you guys, like you made this product. It didn't sell. That's because nobody understood it. You literally made a product for a brand new category and you're complaining that it didn't sell. Like, no shit. Like, did
I
that
agree.
not come up in the meeting at all? Like, hey, we're making something in a position that and not only that, turns out that they didn't listen to anything that iData told them to do. Because they were like, oh, we don't want to put that kind of money into it. It was like, seriously? Like, come on, man. So now it's like, hey, we need a DSP. And they're just like, yeah. And you're like, are you serious? Like, come on, don't fuck with me like that. And they're like, well,
And if I remember correctly, I think the Q class had a pretty high-end DSP chip in them, like a home
oh
audio
yeah,
chip.
yeah. So
Uh-oh, we lost voice. We're back. We back. No, now go again. I hear it moving.
okay, sorry.
I hear you. There you go. We're good.
I hit the button, hit the red button. The problem with the Q class now is that the power supply won't work in modern cars. So, which we found out the hard way. So
Right, I remember you
my
saying that.
lovely Q class 1005 will no longer function in a 2022 2023 vehicle because it's the regulated power supply it has is just it can't like some of these cars are putting out 15 volts and it don't like that at all.
Well, and they were so regulated that it was very inefficient.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was so when we did the test there, we grabbed selfishly grabbed the 1000 or 5000 or 500.2,
Right.
compare it to the 800.1 just to see how brutal it just, you know, but the only reason why I did is you get to keep those. I was
Yeah.
like, "Ooh, I need a 2-channel."
There you go.
I should hook that up to a bench because every now and then we just need a 2-channel with a DSP built into it. And it's like,
Andy heard you say kicker. I heard if you say kicker 3 times, Andy appears in chat. He's like the Beetlejuice of kicker car audio.
yeah. Yeah. No, I get it. It's all good. But they sound good, even if they're inefficient. Well, of course they sound good. That's why they sound good, is because that's the way they were designed. And that's a sad story too. The guy that built those amplifiers, like that designed those amplifiers, he ended up dying
Oh man.
of some form of a cancer shortly thereafter they went into production.
Wow.
So that was like those amps were like his last thing he ever designed before he passed away. And it's like, and it's funny because like stories like that like never get out and you never hear and like no one ever talks about. And it's like, yeah, oh my god, it's like even like when we got to interview Fernando, not my Fernando, their Fernando, like he had a great story. Like his family, they don't believe in college apparently because like his grandfather was an engineer, never went to college a day in his life, and he builds high rises.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you serious? He goes, oh yeah, some of the most safest high rises ever built in Brazil. I'm like, okay, well that's not really. He's like, shut up.
Fernando, he is an interesting dude, man.
Oh, he's a ball of freaking energy too,
Yeah,
man.
he is. I love that guy, man. He's awesome, and he like so many cool things that you I can't say about. But once you find out about the War Horse, what I'm talking about you as in everybody else, not Dean. Dean knows all this.
Yeah.
Once you find out like how it's designed and how it works, and
Oh yeah, like what?
that.
Oh, dude, that. So, you know, because we all know, we've all seen like the kicker, like how they test stuff. Like we've shown it. We've done an extensive how they torture test products that come back for repair. Well,
Right.
they also do that with all those equipment. So like they have the giant, alternator battery thing, pulley system that can put out, and they can turn it up and down to regulate how much amperage it's putting out and all that fun stuff. And like it's great to test equipment when people call and say, well, this is what it's doing, and they can replicate it. But the other side of that is that engineering has it at their disposal as well, so that like when they're working on a platform, if they want to test to see if it works, or they can go use that stuff to do that. And some of the stories that have come out of that testing
Yeah.
is just freaking hilarious. Yes, he is. Yeah, it's funny.
What
Like,
like the kicker engineers, they're a breed of their own. These dudes are so deep into this stuff. It's like you have to dial them back. Like you're talking 10 steps above my head.
oh yeah, they're all nerds. They're all
Let's dial
nerds,
it back
man.
to what I can understand.
Yeah. They're all nerds talking about stuff, and it's like, so when I filmed them, they're all nervous, because nobody wants to be on camera.
Right.
But I have not it's not bragging or anything, but people tell me I have a very good way to make people feel comfortable when I'm interviewing them. And for these guys, I'm like, oh my god, how the hell am I going to get these guys to uncork? So I just walked in the room. I go, Star Wars or Star Trek? Which one? And the answer better be Star Wars. Yeah, they're like, fuck no, man. And I was like, oh, you guys suck. So we just nerded it out for like 10 minutes. And I was like, all right, well, I guess we got to work today. Shit. But by then they were all chill and we're all hanging out and, buddying it up and shit. And, so we got a good interview from them, and it's like, that this was much later that someone, I think it was Eric Russell when we did the Rockford tour. He he had to follow us around all day and make sure nobody gave out any secrets.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know how you do it, man. I was like, what? He goes, you get everyone to open up and talk to you. And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, it's not like I'm personable. I'm not, but
my method, I start talking trash to see what they can handle. What's the level of acceptance?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Island boys. Good luck.
Oh, God.
Listen, man, trust me. I know what island sound is, man.
I'm on.
I know what island sound is, man. So I've had my fair share of island man. This is good white boy music. This is not for island man. I'm like, okay, I don't know what that means, but let me go grab my laptop and we'll figure it out. Oh, hell yeah, man. You can
Well, that's
do it.
Baba. Baba will know.
Yeah, no, different island. He's from freaking Ukulele Island. These guys are.
He's where bro originated from.
I don't know.
I think so.
Star Trek.
Too bad he's not here to tell us. Star Trek, man.
I'm an island boy. There you go, man. Yeah.
Oh, so I will say I was at this is still karate related. I was at a bass show over the weekend, Summer Bass, which is in Shawnee, right?
Okay.
So I'm there having a blast, getting some super fun demos, and so people start wanting to hear the Trooper, but not the solo barrack, right? But to see like, well, what's it sound like? Like, what's that? So like people are getting pretty jazzed off the way the Trooper sounds, and I'm like, dude, like don't judge this as an SQ system because a real SQ guy's gonna beat me down. But no,
right.
But I did get to have them experience a few of them at least, like what a center image is. Even though mine's a touch off, it's a little bit left of center, but it's a little more tame, and so I could show them that demo, and then turn the Solo X up and let it do what it do.
Yeah.
So yeah, exactly.
I'm waiting for the 8. I want a solo 8.
Oh, me too, man. That's I don't know why I love 8-inch subwoofers. I just do.
They take up less space in my world. That's all I can say. I want something that takes up less space. Because when you get it, when someone's like, dude, the freaking Rockford T319, that's a coffee table, like, or an end table at least. I think that box is like an end table. We're gonna bust that thing out in December for Christmas. And I think we're gonna turn it upside down and decorate it like a Christmas tree, like we wanted to in the first place.
There you go.
Um, because it's just so freaking huge, you know, and which is fine because it's one of those things you're just not going to kick out of bed anyway. So,
Exactly. Yeah, that one is that's a bucket list sub right there.
oh, for sure. I mean, just and there again, it was just one of those things where it's like this thing is just so impressive, you
Yeah.
know. The L7 is impressive. There's no doubt about it. But
Right.
compared to that T3, you just go, that thing's cute,
Yeah.
you know.
When it's
But
like I've got one bucket list sub that I always wanted was an OG solo, not solo. Oh my god, stroker.
oh,
Stroker.
well, you got one finally, right?
So I got one.
Right.
The 19's on the list. I've had a bunch of W7s, but I would compare W7s to in the like cool as the
Yeah.
solo X. They're cool as a solo X, but
Yeah.
they do different things.
Yeah.
They do different things, but it's that level. It's not like
So
untouchable level.
yeah. So for me, I don't want to collect subwoofers.
They take up too much room.
They're too heavy and they take up way too much room. Like I went through and organized all my Orion heat sinks that I have when we cleaned out the garage, and I just kind of like, all right, here's the Orion bucket. So everything went into there. And I would love to get, so I have, like, Fro gave me the 250s or the 225 and the 250 matching set.
Right.
And I was like, that's cool. But I would love to find, like, I don't want amps, I want heat sinks. Like, I'd love to I know I'll never be able to find it, but I'd love to find like a 425 and another 250, or just a matching set of,
Like
like,
what? Which one though? The Moon and Stars or after the Moon and Stars?
I would prefer the Moon and Stars, but I'd also do the non-Moon and Stars shiny red engraved.
Yeah,
You know?
before the crossover era.
Yes, before the Jesus clips, the
Yes.
Jesus pins and all that
Yeah.
nonsense, because those sucked.
Yeah.
But
Many people blew amps with those.
oh god, they were so shitty.
Yeah.
Like, I would like to get it. I'd like to find like a set of those that
Yeah.
are non-functional. I don't need them to work. I just, because I'd like to do like a clean wire build, like a
Yeah.
retro clean wire build, and do something with that. That's one of those things that's kind of kicking around in my mind. I'm like, what set of equipment, what set of amplifiers do I have that I can do that with that would look good? And I'm like, I really don't have, and the problem with like those amps and why I would prefer them not to be like circuit boarded is because I need to make all new end plates. Like, I want to make new end plates that are modern, so that it looks, like a modern, like, grab an end plate off of something or add barrier strips or some shit like that to where the install is just clean and awesome looking. Um,
I mean, you got a laser. You can engrave
yeah, well, I could totally do it.
super, super awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I don't want them. I just necessarily need the heat sinks. You
Right.
know? But so I went on eBay and I started looking at that shit, and I was like, God damn,
$9,000.
these
Yeah.
motherfuckers want more than new.
Hmm.
Like,
Yep.
so I'm like, fuck you, buddy.
Exactly.
I'm going, because
It's
I
a
was like,
great
I got
idea.
yeah, I was like, I could do like a 280 GX and a 240 GX. That would be
Yeah.
cool. And I was like, because nobody liked those amplifiers. Those are like the dogs of the Ryan line. And I was like, God damn, what are y'all crazy? You want $250 for a broken amplifier? Fuck off.
Dude, you know what's crazy to me is I always loved the HCCA line because it was cheaters and I was competing
Yeah,
with them and stuff like
it
that.
was red.
But then when you grow up and you find out like, oh, the XTR amps are much better than the HCA amps in almost every way.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
it's
I always ran the SX amplifiers.
yeah,
That was it.
it's like
But there again, if I could find like a 222 and a 250 or a 275, you know, but I really like a 4-channel, you know, because I think having a 4-channel and just so make like a retro amplifiers, but in a modern and just to look cool and
Right.
hanging on the wall, you know,
Definitely would.
because yeah.
So this wasn't a dream sub for me, but Phoenix Gold did make a dream sub for me. That was
Um,
the Tornado or the I can't remember what it's called.
I think Christian is saying that because I gave him that subwoofer.
Oh,
We found it sitting up front. At some point,
yeah,
they gave us a bunch of that stuff, and I was like, we kept the 2 amplifiers that we had. We had 2 big, the last T3 amplifiers that they made. We had a 4-channel and a monoblock that
yeah.
were just sitting in a box in the install bay forever for like 3 years. And I was like, all right, I got to do something with these and then we found the woofer up front, and I called Christian and I said, hey man, I got all this Phoenix Gold shit. Do you want it? Because it's got to go.
Oh man.
He's
Cy-
like, I'm on my way.
yeah, who wouldn't? Like, hey, car audio, come get it. Yeah,
Yeah, the Cyclone.
the Cyclone. Never heard one, but I just think it's cool. I wouldn't even want to play it. I would love to have it for a video. It'd be cool, but
I want to hear it, man, because
I do too. Yeah,
I want to hear how that thing works. That to me is just doesn't make
somebody,
any sense.
somebody's got to have one somewhere. They probably
Yeah,
want $3 million for it, but
yeah, yeah.
I did. I went that
Christian is super excited because he just got his
Moscone.
his Moscone DSP.
I seen them
So
both.
we had it drop shipped to his house because he lives in Orlando, so he drove in, paid for it, and then Paul just had him mail it to his house. And so he's got the final piece of the puzzle. So I know that feeling that he's going through right now because like when I first got my big lens, you know,
Yeah,
I was like I just wanted to hold it, you
exactly.
know. I didn't want to put it on the camera because I was afraid to be disappointed. I just wanted to hold it and be like, oh,
Yeah,
so you know, and I made Fernando's week this week because you know we're getting ready to go to Mobile Solutions to film the Orca event and Moscone, whatever, and we needed another camera body because we don't have enough. So I bought him another R8 so we can have one on the DJI Ronin, and then he can have one that he carries, and then we have the R62.
well, who doesn't need a full frame for their B-roll? And
2 full frames. Yes, of course. So I bought him. So he's been dying to have the 70 to 200
yeah,
camera. I didn't buy him an f2.8 because I was like, well,
the 70 to 200 is like, is that the one that all the like people doing sports?
no, it's just a normal.
Oh, okay, so it's not a
It's a 200, so it's not like those are 3 and 400 and stuff like that. Like
yeah,
I have one of those, but not the smaller versions that are for these new cameras. But he's been dying. It's white,
right.
so it's automatically like,
Oh,
dude,
looking, yeah, yeah,
you got one of those white lenses? Yeah. Because that's what Canon does, and now everyone does that. Sony does the same thing because Canon did it. Nikon is like, oh, everything's black. It's like boring. So I bought him one of those this week to put on that. And he's like all excited. He's like, oh my god. I was like, yeah. He's like, I'm the coolest kid in the world.
yeah.
I was like, yes, you are. You better take good goddamn pictures.
Did you give him the hook for his backpack?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
pro now.
Dude, we got the hook. We got the hook for the backpack. I got the hook for the belt. I have the whole body strap because if you're not wearing a backpack, it doesn't do any good. So was it Chubby? I think it's like Chubby something or Cotton. The company's called Cotton.
Yeah.
And they make all these attachments. And when I found them, I was like, oh my god, I just bought everything.
So when you guys say stay strapped,
oh yeah,
you definitely stay strapped. Just
you're strapped like a motherfucker.
Thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, strapped and caged.
Exactly.
Nobody's perfect, Dave. Nobody's perfect. Phoenix did have some damn good stuff.
Yeah.
And all of it moved overseas because, like, Amp Global in Europe has awesome Phoenix Gold shit.
Yeah.
But that's a whole different department. And over here, we're not using the same guys. So
that was like the old Pioneer story where they had all the Cordeza stuff that was super dope. And it's like, oh, you can have the 80 PRS, but that's it.
Yeah. Dude, don't even get me. Well, yeah, but that's because it's Japanese mentality. But
Right.
in that was just a business decision because in Europe they did such a good job of marketing Phoenix Gold that we just didn't get here. So yeah, I understand how it works, Christian. I just want to hear one. There's a difference. I get the concept.
Oh man. All right.
I know, Dave. It's all good. Hey guys, if this was enough for you, then thank you for tuning in and having a great time while we talked about car audio. But if you're like, you know what? I had enough car audio for 1 week, damn it. I want to well for one night. Let's just like
Right.
you want to tune in tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock to the news and Saturday morning the Q&A. But if you want to talk other stuff, join us over on Side Jag up next.
We watch cartoons, man. We watch cartoons.
I've been trying to remember what the hell we watched. I totally forgot.
TMNT.
Yeah.
Mayhem. So
Okay.
all righty.
Thanks, guys.
See y'all next week.